Yes, reading great books is absolutely valuable and enlightening. But I think there's also value in rapid fire insights that break your brain wide open. So that's what we're going to do right now. These are the 50 greatest marketing books ever written, summarized in one sentence each. Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. Master the 6 universal principles of reciprocity, commitment, social proof, authority, liking, and scarcity to ethically shape others' decisions and drive positive behavior. Positioning, The Battle for Your Mind by Ries and Jack Trout. Win the marketing war by claiming a distinct mental real estate in your customer's mind before your competitors do. This is Marketing by Seth Godin. Serve and truly understand a specific audience by empathizing with their needs, telling authentic stories, and earning their trust through consistent, meaningful contributions. Ogilvy on Advertising by David Ogilvy. Leverage rigorous research, big creative ideas, and meticulously crafted copy to captivate consumers, build a brand image, and deliver measurable advertising results. Contagious, Why Things Catch On by Jonah Berger. Inspire word-of-mouth contagion by creating messages and products that offer social currency, trigger emotional connections, and embed shareable stories. The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing by Ries and Jack Trout. Adhere to fundamental, unchanging principles, like the law of leadership and the law of focus, to carve out a powerful niche in the consumer's consciousness. That one's kind of hard to summarize because it's a book of 22 laws. Purple Cow by Seth Godin. Make your product or service so remarkably different that it grabs attention, sparks curiosity, and compels people to spread the word on your behalf. Marketing Management by Philip Kotler. Craft a comprehensive strategy driven by market research, segmentation, positioning, and the 4 Ps to sustainably create, deliver, and communicate value in an ever-evolving marketplace. Blue Ocean Strategy by W. Chan Kim and Renée Mauborgne. Break away from bloody competition by simultaneously pursuing differentiation and low cost, uncovering untapped markets and creating uncontested demand. Guerrilla Marketing by J. Conrad Levinson. Use creative, unconventional, and low-cost tactics to surprise and resonate with your audience, yielding maximum impact from minimal resources. The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. Demonstrate how small, subtle shifts, fueled by connectors, mavens, and salesmen, can spark explosive social epidemics and reshape entire markets. Permission Marketing by Seth Godin. Earn your customers' trust and attention by getting their explicit, enthusiastic permission to engage, creating marketing that is personal, relevant, and anticipated. Building a StoryBrand by Donald Miller. Clarify your offerings by positioning your customer as the hero and your brand as the guide, distilling every message into a simple, story-driven framework. Crossing the Chasm by Geoffrey. Safely transition from early adopters to the mainstream market by adapting your messaging, positioning, and distribution strategies for different customer segments. Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath. Craft memorable ideas that resonate by employing simplicity, unexpectedness, concreteness, credibility, emotions, and stories to drive lasting impact. The Lean Startup by Ries. Continuously test and iterate on your product by measuring real customer feedback, minimizing waste, and embracing pivot or persevere decision-making. Growth Hacker Marketing by Ryan Holiday. Integrate rapid experimentation, analytics, and iterative product development to kindle explosive user adoption without relying on big budget campaigns. All Marketers Are Liars by Seth Godin. Spark belief and loyalty by telling compelling, authentic stories that consumers adopt as their own, reshaping how they see themselves and your brand. The Challenger Sale by Matthew Dixon and Brent Adamson. Create value by teaching unique insights, tailoring messages to customer needs, and taking control of the sales process to challenge buyers' thinking. Epic Content Marketing by Joe Polizzi. Develop consistent, audience-focused content that educates, entertains, and adds genuine value, establishing trust and loyalty to drive long-term business growth. Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. Provide consistent value and nurture genuine relationships through empathetic content jabs, then deliver a clear, timely right hook that sparks sales or conversions. Marketing 4.0, Moving from Traditional to Digital by Philip Kotler, Hermawan Kardajaya, and Iwan Setiawan. Sorry about the names. Transform your marketing approach by balancing human-centric engagement with digital tools, seamlessly integrating offline and online experiences to drive customer connectivity. The New Rules of Marketing and PR by David Meerman Scott. Embrace real-time engagement and authentic, shareable content across digital platforms to attract and retain customers rather than relying on interruptive tactics. Hacking Growth by Sean Ellis and Morgan Brown. Accelerate your company's success by systematically identifying and scaling the most effective marketing, product, and user experience strategies through iterative, data-driven experiments. Confessions of an Advertising Man by David Ogilvy. Harness the power of rigorous research, big creative ideas, and disciplined execution to develop advertisements that captivate customers and deliver measurable results. The One-Page Marketing Plan by Alan Dibb. Streamline and clarify your entire marketing strategy into a single-page framework that identifies the right audience, nails your messaging, and maps out the steps to continually nurture customers. Utility by Jay Baer. Win hearts and loyalty by providing genuinely helpful, high-value content that solves customer problems, building trust instead of simply pushing sales. Tribes by Seth Godin. Inspire and unite a group of passionate fans around a shared purpose, empowering them to spread your ideas and spark meaningful change. Hooked. How to Build Habit-Forming Products by Nir Eyal. Create compelling user experiences by layering triggers, actions, variable rewards, and user investments to form habits that keep customers coming back. Unleashing the Idea Virus by Seth Godin. Amplify your message by designing a product or idea so shareable and contagious that your audience eagerly spreads it, propelling exponential growth. Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely. Despite our belief in rational decision-making, we're swayed by hidden forces that systematically distort our choices, and recognizing these patterns can help us design fairer and more effective marketing tactics. Biology by Martin Lindstrom. Consumers' deepest desires are shaped by subconscious triggers and sensory branding, revealing that our buying decisions often stem from emotion rather than logic. The Thank You Economy by Gary Vaynerchuk. Active empathy and genuine engagement across social platforms create deep customer relationships that spur trust, loyalty, and explosive word-of-mouth growth. Cashvertising by Drew Eric Whitman. Appeal to primal desires, craft magnetic headlines, and harness subtle psychological cues to capture attention and turbocharge your advertisement's response. Rework by Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansen. Break the rules of traditional business by simplifying tasks, cutting out bureaucratic nonsense, and focusing on impactful actions that drive real value. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Identify the cue, routine, reward loop to reshape habits, empowering you to influence individuals and collective behavior, including how customers will engage with your brand. Start with Why by Simon Sinek. Establish a core purpose that resonates on an emotional level, inspiring customers and employees alike to believe and invest in your mission. Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins. Apply precise testing, measurement, and consumer psychology to advertising, ensuring that every campaign is grounded in data-driven insights and real-world results. Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. Set the stage for persuasion by focusing attention just before delivering your message, priming audiences to be more receptive to your core idea. Buzz Marketing by Mark Hughes. Spark compelling word of mouth by creating surprise, provoking emotions, and giving people irresistible reasons to spread your message. The Brand Gap by Marty Neumeier. Bridge the gap between business strategy and creative execution by crafting a clear, differentiated brand that resonates deeply with customers. How Brands Grow by Byron Sharp. Grow your brand by targeting a wide audience, focusing on both mental and physical availability, and applying empirical evidence rather than conventional wisdom. Neuromarketing by Patrick Renvoise and Christophe Morin. Leverage insights from neuroscience to shape your messaging, triggering the brain's primal decision-making process for more persuasive marketing. The Experience Economy by B. Joseph Pine and James Gilmore. Transform ordinary transactions into memorable events by staging immersive experiences that add emotion and experiential value for customers. Everybody Writes by Ann Handley. Elevate your brand's written communication by crafting clear, customer-centric copy that educates, engages, and inspires action across all digital platforms. Invisible Influence by Jonah Berger. Harness subtle social factors like conformity, mimicry, and group identity to nudge consumer decisions and spark wider adoption of your ideas or product. The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. Drive sales growth by aligning your approach with fundamental psychological motivators, focusing on value creation, trust building, and emotional triggers. Selling the Invisible by Harry Beckwith. Earn and keep customers for intangible services by highlighting credibility, building relationships and ensuring every client touchpoint conveys trust and quality. Zag by Marty Neumeyer. Differentiate with a bold, disruptive brand promise. When everyone else zigs, use Zag to stand out and dominate your category. Confessions of a Pricing Man by Hermann Zeman. Optimize profits through scientific pricing methods, value-based strategies, and a deep understanding of how buyers perceive and evaluate costs. Now go read him for real.